Morning. This is Pat O'Connell calling to order the New Mexico Public Regulation Commission's regular weekly open meeting for Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. For this meeting, our advisor from Office of General Counsel, Russell Fisk. So Russell, could you call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Here.
Commissioner Aguilera.
Present.
Commissioner Ellison. And Commissioner Ellison is not present.
Yes, that was an anticipated absence.
Mr. Chairman, we have two commissioners present. That is a quorum. So you may proceed.
Great, thank you. All right, so let's stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance and the state pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico as the symbol for America and friendship among united cultures. I guess, Russell, are there any announcements? I mean, anything we need to know about before we head into our meeting?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Great, thank you.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next item is consideration and approval of the agenda. I think we were still working on one of the agenda items, so that's the transportation matter case 23-00144. So my understanding is that will be removed from the agenda for this week. Are there any other changes to the agenda?
I don't have any additional changes.
Thank you. So seeing no disagreement, we'll proceed with an agenda that modified from the posted agenda by removing the one regular action item. Mr. Mueller, do we have any public comment? Let's see.
Mr. Chair, I have not received any requests for public comment. If there is no one in the hearing room that wishes to make public comment, public comment is concluded.
Thank you. Okay, so next item on the agenda is consent action items. We have two transportation matters, a proposed order in case 23-00101 TREN and potential order closing the docket in 23-00170 TREN. And we have two utility matters on the consent agenda, both potential orders regarding community solar complaints, case 23-00190 UT. The other is 23-00191 UT. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda items? No. Seeing none, I move that we adopt the proposed orders on the consent action items.
I second the motion.
Mr. Fisk, could you do the roll call vote on that?
Yes. Yes, Commissioner Aguilera.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 2 in favor, 0 not in favor of approving the consent agenda items.
Thank you.
And Mr. Chairman, I believe we may have skipped over the minutes.
We did. That's the second time I've done that. Thank you, Russell. So going back before public comment, we should have discussed approval of prior meeting minutes. We have one set of minutes in our packet. It's the minutes for the May 10th, 2023 open meeting. Commissioner Aguilera, do you have any discussion on that item?
Just to note that I did post a minor edit and to board effect.
Yeah, I saw that in there, and then I'd also corrected one typo, but beyond that, I think minutes are ready to approve, so I'll move that we approve the minutes of the May 10th, 2023 open meeting.
Seconded.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Aguilera.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 2 in favor of approving the minutes and 0 against.
Thank you, and I'll try to remember to quit disrespecting the minutes. Next up, communications with Chief of Staff. Ms. Corey, do you have anything?
Mr. Chair, I don't have any updates.
Thank you. And then I know that you and I had talked about at a future meeting, just talking through where we're at on rulemaking. So I don't know if that'll be next week or week after.
Mr. Chair, I anticipate having a thorough update ready for you next week.
Great, thank you. Next item on the agenda, communications with commissioners. Do you have anything you'd like to discuss, Commissioner?
I have one thing that I wanted to mention. I received an email from an organization with respect to large transmission projects. Yes. Okay. And so it is asking whether I would want to join in a letter to Senator Manchin, just urging him to support these large transmission projects. And I generally do support him, sort of thinking through whether I would want to join in on that. It seems like maybe you received the same email. I don't know if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was going to bring up exactly the same item. I actually have received 2 communications on that. One is this request from an advocacy group. And I agree with how you characterize it in a letter to senators in the US Senate in support of large transmission projects. And then I also received a reach out from, I'm on the Energy Resources in the Environment Committee on NARUC. And so actually I got that before I got the letter from the advocacy group. And it was just requesting commissions to identify themselves as they were trying to build a team of commissioners that were going to develop a similar letter to send to the Senate in support of large transmission lines. So that brought up for me 2 issues. The one that you brought up is just how do I formulate whether this is something I want to sign or not. And then the other is how are we going to handle requests from committees now that we're on them. I'll take the NARUC one first. They wanted me to commit to being on it by last Monday, which I didn't think I could do, have this conversation before committing to be in that process. So I let that deadline go by. The other thing I did with it is I forwarded it to Mr. Martinez at NMPRC, thinking if somebody from state government is developing comments on these large transmission lines, maybe NMPRC is leading that, but didn't get the impression that they are. So that first issue of how to manage my work on these NARUC committees, I asked my technical advisor, McLee, to start looking at just exactly what it is we have to vote on. Because this one came in too fast. I wouldn't have been able to do it if it required a vote. I didn't think, like I said, I think Rita's probably best at taking the lead on this issue from state government compared to us, but just got me curious to think, well, what should I do with other committee things as they come in? I'm sure there's a lot of it I should just handle myself because I'm on the committee. Other things, do we need the 3 of us to work on it and develop a consensus opinion? So anyway, he's researching that, starting with the Open Meetings Act to figure out, is there a dividing line between routine committee assignments and, you know, the things we voted on today, clearly we need to vote on. So that's what I'm working on there. Then going back to your initial thing is, do we want to sign on to this letter from the advocacy group? I'm not ready to have an opinion on that today. And like I say, I kind of personally want to hear from NMPRC to see if they have an opinion on that.
Okay, I believe that letter was asking us to respond by June 12th, which is before our next meeting.
Okay,
Let's double check. So, yeah, the research that Mackley is doing will be helpful for sure in determining. I mean, I think there's also an option for us to just sign on to these, not as a commission as a whole, but, you know, as an individual commissioner. And maybe that's something he could look into as well.
yeah, that's a good distinction. And having said that, we'll have to know that that's going to be a confusing communication.
Yeah.
You know, so me, but not the other two think this is true. And not that they don't think it's true, they just haven't weighed in, you know. So anyway, we'll work through that. So anyway, to me, that just took the opportunity to try to go big with the question and figure out how should we proceed going forward. But going back to your initial thing, do you have an opinion on this letter? I mean, do you think it's worth signing on to?
Just my general opinion. I mean, I support the cause. I just, you know, wanted to evaluate it a little bit more to see, you know, maybe run it by some staff. I should have done that already. I haven't. But you know, just to see what expectations surround the letter. But I think, I mean, I am a supporter of transmission. I do believe that we need more transmission to, you know, achieve our low carbon goals and competitive, more competitive rates. I think more transmission will enable those benefits for New Mexicans, and not to mention also the additional jobs from, you know, generation that would be more attractive to be built in New Mexico if there were more transmission. But so generally, I mean, those are my thoughts. I am very supportive.
Yeah, I agree with you. Looking at the goals of New Mexico and frankly, our neighbors, I expect more transmission will get built. How does it get built in a way that benefits the most folks and in cost-effective ways? Those are the kind of interesting questions, but yeah, supportive that more transmission will get built. I think my understanding of this one issue that is going in front of the senators based on the email I got from the neighbor group is just making sure that whatever happens at the federal level doesn't take state commissions out of the role of weighing in on these projects. So, and we may be in a more unique situation because of New Mexico RETA, where a RETA project doesn't always or necessarily come in front of us the way a utility developed project might. So that to me is the issue we're thinking through. But I agree, if we just want to sign a letter that say we agree transmission needs to be built, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, I think given that the deadline they requested is June 12th, which is before the next meeting, and Commissioner Ellison has not had a chance to consider this, I think it's probably best if we do sign on to just sign on as, you know, individual commissioners instead of a commission as a whole, because I wouldn't want to speak for him.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. So I'll take it back and look at it for myself. I think I'm gonna focus more on the neighborhood process and what the committee's doing than the letter we got from the advocacy groups. Just so you know, I probably won't take an action on
Okay,
the other letter. I may try to get involved in the conversation on this neighborhood process without signing on to the letter without consulting the commission thing. So. All right, any more on that item?
nope,
No. Did you have any other items you wanted?
that was the only thing I wanted to raise.
Yeah, and then there's that, and then I just wanted. I think, obviously you're aware, but we're pursuing our CAPE. I'm not sure what that acronym means, but it's ethics certification through the New Mexico Edge group. And so I'm going to be in person in Farmington attending classes in pursuit of that certification Monday and Tuesday of next week. So looking forward to who we'll see in class there. And then I understand you'll be in class too. So whatever. I guess this is a request for Russell, whatever notice of quorum needs to go out.
Yes, we'll draft that, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Okay, so not having any more items on the agenda, and I think we've done what we set out to do today. I declare us adjourned.
So meeting without Commissioner